Hello, happy Tuesday, everybody. It's Barbara Ann. Welcome back to my channel, Straight Out of Context. Let me first start this off with a copyright disclaimer. Under the Copyright Act of 1976, I am within my legal right to share these following clips. Under fair use, public domain, TikTok third-party license, and TikTok Live automatic third-party license. I share from those who allow redistribution, download, and reshare of their content, and as always, I credit. All thoughts, views, opinions, expressions, feelings, and critiques are mine and mine alone. And underneath the Copyright Act of 1976, I am fully within my legal right to share these following clips in bigger context of my commentary. So let's get right into it. Gypsy Rose posted this. She just celebrated being blonde and noticed this. She's going to have to go back to brown to fix this. Now, I'm not a licensed cosmetologist, but one of my twin nieces is, and I would highly suggest to Gypsy Rose Blanchard to stop messing with her hair. Now, she does look better as a brunette because that is her natural dark hair. I myself prefer darker hair. I look horrible as a blonde. Some people do, and I think Gypsy is one of those people that just looks bad as a blonde. But at this point, I think it's more about, the health of her hair. Sometimes there's no reason or rhyme to why somebody is acting erratically and impulsively with their hair, but we all know that she has probably dyed it a good 30 times since being released from prison. But let's get to the part everybody wants to know about. Is Gypsy Rose Blanchard really engaged? Because she says she's just trying on engagement rings and that hashtag she's not engaged. Now, there are a lot of rumors because at the very end of season 2 of Life After Lockup, you see Ken Urker going into a jewelry store telling the jeweler that he is going to propose on the day that she is off of parole. And of course, Gypsy knows this because she watched the episode as it aired. However, if you go back to November 16th of 2024, when Gypsy Rose had her baby shower, there was a rumor going around that Gypsy and Ken had broken up. However, there were a lot of people that also were saying they think they're secretly engaged and that they have been for a while, and that Gypsy and Ken have behind the scenes been planning their wedding, and that there was talks in the works of possibly doing a wedding special with Lifetime, and whether or not Lifetime would be interested in doing something like that with Gypsy and Ken. True or not, we can't confirm, but what we do know is that every time Mia Blanchard posts anything like that she's moving in with her boyfriend of over 4 years, here comes Gypsy Rose Blanchard with an announcement of her own, one that overshadows Mia. A lot of different creators and people have noticed this and have documented this. Someone told me that they actually believe Ken and Gypsy are already married. There's no way that Ken or Lifetime would film him going into a store looking at engagement rings or wedding sets for him proposing to Gypsy, knowing that it was going to air before the June 25th, 2025 date when she is supposed to be off of parole for good. Knowing good damn and well that Gypsy was going to see that episode. I've seen a lot of people talking about this, and they actually believe that Gypsy is in the know, that this is something that she and Ken have clearly talked about, that this is inevitable, this is going to happen, it's just a matter of when, and this is how they're going to solidify their family. But it makes no sense for Ken or Lifetime to literally ruin the proposal months before it even happens. If something clearly didn't already happen or is not in the works of happening already behind the scenes. So is Gypsy being honest? Is this just her trying on rings? Or do you think that she and Ken are already engaged? Or do you think that they already got legally married? I want to know everybody's thoughts and opinions on this, so definitely drop your comments down below. I just don't see why Ken would actually do that. Why would he ruin what could be a very pivotal moment in Gypsy's life, a proposal from, quote, the man that I truly love, unquote. And if he truly loves her, and this is their way of solidifying their family, then I really hope that Ken does propose to her in an amazing way and that he didn't botch it. Despite and regardless what anybody may think or feel about Gypsy Rose Blanchard, their beautiful baby, Aurora Reina, definitely does deserve to have both of her parents trying for her. And if Ken and Gypsy can actually pull this off and make it work, then good for them. Because their beautiful baby girl definitely deserves their trying. Now let's switch gears to something different. This is what Gypsy Rose Blanchard posted to her YouTube family blogging channel about dyeing her hair again at home. Here's some small clips about that video.
Gypsy attempts to fry her hair even more after just posting. She has been losing hair. Ha ha ha.
Okay, so I've been seeing about this TikTok hair trend for 2025, and it's called the Teddy Bear Blonde. So it's a mix of brown and blonde. So I'm here at the store and I'm gonna try it to attempt to do a balayage and this color and bleach myself. So I gotta get everything that I need first. Rise and use the back side for this one. It's just not
Ooh, I can smell that bad decision right through the microphone.
as helpful, but it's still kind of working. This is not easy at all. Oh my god. I think I'm starting to regret this already.
Okay, at this point, she's just baiting everybody.
Bruh. I think I'm starting to regret this decision. Didn't buy it.
Well, what do you know? The one time that Gypsy Rose Blanchard actually looks okay is when she has a bag on her head. Very professional. All that money spent on all that product, and yet she throws a gallon-sized Ziploc bag on her head.
Don't laugh.
Hey, that's our job to laugh, Gypsy. Come on, you're making it easy.
Improvise. It's not so bad, I think. Oh god. Okay, so it's not quite as bad as I thought.
That is so fried. It is giving Freya, the Ice Queen from Snow White and the Huntsman.
The highlighted parts are exactly where I wanted them to be.
Are they though? Are they really though?
So I want them to be a pale yellow. There is some, I don't really even know what that is in the back. I'm gonna give it 10 more minutes and then I'm going to Yeah? Oh, you've taken a bath? Okay. Really help. Toning is definitely gonna help and much needed.
At this point, it's probably just better for her to go to a professional. But I don't know. She just spent all that money buying all that salon licensed only quality hair dye and bleach and all of the stuff that she needs, I'm assuming, with it. I think Gypsy is one of those erratic and impulsive people that just gets an idea in her head and is like, can't let it go. Can't let it go until she gets what she wants. You can tell that she's clearly spoiled and entitled, and she grew up that way. And she did say such. She did say on a live panel, quote, "My mom was my biggest enabler," unquote. And she also said that, quote, "I never had to do anything but exist for 24 years. She did all the driving, the cooking, the cleaning," unquote. But notice that Gypsy goes back between blonde, very blonde, and dark brunette like every 60 days or so. So this is a cycle that she is known to do. She's probably already in so far and so deep with the money that she spent that she couldn't even pull out if she wanted to. We know Ken didn't. But let's get into the good stuff. Gypsy posts this comment. "I didn't see a sign. I saw a sign that said enter at this store, but I Googled where to buy Redken toner and SC popped up. So I went without much thought to it. I thought it was no different than Sally's." If you didn't know, Gypsy posted a video going into Salon Centric, which is a place where you can buy beauty supplies, including for hair, but it is solely for cosmetology licensed individuals to purchase from, which Gypsy has expressed wanting to go to cosmetology school, maybe in the future, but she certainly is not licensed today, nor in that video.
So thanks to my friend Soldier Girl, I was able to receive this picture. So apparently there's a video. I didn't get to see what the actual video was, but Salon Centric commented and said, Salon Centric proudly supports licensed beauty pros and the professional beauty industry. Though we are in the initial stages of our investigation, we found recently that a celebrity was able to shop in one of our B2B stores. Please know that we are conducting a thorough investigation and will put appropriate measures in place to ensure that it does not happen again. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. I apologize for any issues. I was unaware that I needed a license upon entering the store and was told midway through shopping. And the lady said that she would allow me to complete my purchase this time. Like I said, I was not aware of this requirement upon shopping. So let's break this down, because this kind of excuse-ridden response deserves a reality check, right? I mean, she's always full of excuses as why it's everybody else's fault but hers. I was unaware that I needed a license upon entering the store. Ignorance of the rules is not an excuse, especially in a professional industry where regulations exist for a reason. These stores aren't boutiques or gift shops. They're professional supply stores meant for licensed professionals. The rules are clearly posted both online and in store. If you're walking into a pro-only beauty supply store without even asking whether you belong there, that's not innocence, that's entitlement. And I was told midway through shopping. So you were already shopping, grabbing products reserved for licensed professionals, and someone had to stop you and inform you of the rules that you should have checked before walking in. That's not a good look. You don't accidentally shop halfway through a restricted store unless you assume that the rules don't apply to you. And the lady told me that she would allow me to purchase this time. So instead of doing the right thing and putting the products down and leaving like any respectful person would, you took the opportunity and ran with it. You knew at that point you weren't supposed to make that purchase, but you still went through with it. That's no longer being misinformed. That's willful misconduct. A choice. Like I said, I was unaware of this requirement upon shopping. You're repeating this like it changes anything. Here's the bottom line. You walked into a space designated for licensed professionals, you broke the rules, admitted you knew you were breaking the rules midway through, and then finished the purchase. And now you want to sugarcoat it with, I didn't know? This isn't about you being unaware. It's about you thinking that your celebrity status gave you a pass. And that's the most dangerous mindset of all. One where influence is used to circumvent professional standards that licensed stylists work and pay to uphold. You didn't just break a rule, you disrespected an entire industry. And notice how quick you were to throw that worker under the bus and say it was somebody else's fault but yours. Nah, dude. I guarantee she recognized who you were and said, oh, just this one time. But notice now, sweetheart, you did her a favor. She do you one. No. And now that she's busted, you can see how wonderful of a person she is, huh? I hope they hold you accountable. Wouldn't it be so ridiculous, though, if out of all the things that you've done since you've been released, that a hair salon is going to be what you get held accountable for? I just think it's crazy. But Salon Centric. Thank you. Not caring about somebody's celebrity status and holding her accountable.
Oh, come on. But Gypsy is the one that wants to remind everybody that she is not a celebrity. Remember? She even made a public statement. Gypsy reminded fans on TikTok in a statement May 27th of 2024 that she is not a celebrity, but she is a survivor who is healing from her emotional, mental, and medical abuse that never happened, in my opinion. And of course, Gypsy Rose Blanchard grew up spoiled and entitled. Remember, she said it on a live, quote, my mother was my biggest enabler, unquote. And also, quote, all I had to do was exist for the first 24 years. My mom did all the driving, cooking, and cleaning, unquote. Of course, after meeting her favorite movie stars, after meeting her favorite country singers, after meeting her favorite musicians, and going to Disney World and swimming with dolphins, of course, Gypsy thinks she's above the law and the rules. I mean, she committed first-degree premeditated homicide. and barely got slapped on the wrist. She doesn't want to talk about prison reform because she got the best of prison reform. But you know who is very much affected by her actions, words, choices, and behaviors? Everybody else, including but not limited to her half younger sister, Mia Blanchard, who she has always been very jealous of. In the prison confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, among many other interviews and documentaries, Gypsy has spoken about being jealous of Mia Blanchard, being jealous that she had two parents growing up, that she got to live with their dad growing up, that she got to have a relationship with their dad. It's not the fact that she's beautiful and she has blue eyes and she has a really nice body and she's in shape and she's got beautiful blonde hair. It's not the fact that she's trendy and she's cool and she always has her nails done, that she graduated from college and wants to do something with her life, or the fact that she's been with the same person for over 4 years. I think it's the fact that sociopaths and narcissists have a hard time understanding this, but Mia Blanchard has always just been who she really is. She is beloved for being exactly who she is, and nothing more, nothing less. And just like Christy Blanchard, her biological mother has stated, she's the one child she never had to worry about. She's the one child that always made the right decision. She doesn't need attention. She doesn't need money. She doesn't need to cause drama and chaos for 34 years of her life to get other people to love her, to want to be around her, to want to engage with her and spend time with her. She doesn't have to act in erratic and impulsive, self-destructive ways to get attention. Mia also doesn't behave in ways that say, hey, look at me, I want to be a public figure. Hey, look at me, I want to be a celebrity. She has been the true definition of a very good girl. And she has been a good girl. Yet, on the other hand, it's Gypsy Rose Blanchard who sold an entire narrative and victim story to the public that didn't even exist, saying that she was always a good girl. Just like my mom said, she never lied. I am a good girl. Yet Mia truly is the good girl. She doesn't have to pretend to be somebody else. She doesn't have to create imaginary drama and chaos and destruction in her loved ones' lives in order to fill her own void, her own ego, inflate her sense of self-importance. And that is something that Gypsy is always going to grapple with. She's always going to have jealousy because she doesn't understand how somebody can just naturally be a good, decent human being and do all of the right things and be rewarded with the results of that hard work, with the positive results of their good behavior. Gypsy Rose Blanchard was raised spoiled, entitled. That's why her erratic and impulsive behavior is still so prevalent today. Because if she thinks it, if she feels it, if she wants it, well, then she gets it by any price tag or any means necessary. This is not a symptom of somebody who is a trauma and abuse survivor or victim. This is somebody who says, you know what? I seen this. I like this hair color and I want to do it. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to get what I want, even if it's something mundane like changing her hair color, which is a behavior that is typically harmless in and of itself. But then we look at her past and we look at things that she's done since being released out of prison. All this does is feed fuel to the fire. She got away with first-degree premeditated murder and facing capital punishment. So there is nothing that this girl is ever going to think that she cannot get away with or talk her way out of, or lie her way out of. The problem is the family, friends, and people who have helped her do it.
Now we're at Ashley's, the one that we came to try, which we like, it's okay, but we really like the Tempur-Pedic mattresses, but I don't want to spend $4,000 on a mattress. I'm sorry. And we're also stuck between getting a queen or a king, because this one over here is like, oh, long term, yes. When we have kids, we'll need a bigger bed, and I don't know, we'll see. All this shopping got us hungry, so we're about to try this place. I've never been. You excited?
I'm excited. I want to try these burgers.
Yum. Bye, I love you.
Love you too. I'll see you Monday.
Bye.
If you guys aren't on TikTok already and you don't follow Mia Blanchard, I would highly suggest you do because she has pretty cute content. She's pretty, she's funny, she's smart, and she seems to be the only logical voice of reason anywhere in the Blanchard sphere. Plus, she and her boyfriend, Andre, are just so cute together. And we all know the reason why Gypsy Rose Blanchard is posting pictures of her trying on engagement rings, baiting everybody, hashtag not engaged, is because Mia is posting that she and Andre are moving in together. Again, the psychological need to overshadow Mia, always. Someone sent me this and said that Bree had her TikTok shut down, her most recent one. If you're not familiar, one of Gypsy's friends named Bree is usually on TikTok. That is her preferred platform. And she has gone through multiple accounts. Says Bree backup, Bree unfiltered backup, Bree unfiltered 1, Bree unfiltered 2. Then it was Bree with duh facts 1, Bree with duh facts 2, Bree with duh facts number 3. So some subscribers and followers are worried because they saw this, that Gypsy is now promoting Bree's YouTube. Bree has actually had a YouTube for a while, and the more the merrier. She has every right to be on YouTube and TikTok just like anybody else, as long as she adheres to the legal policies and copyright and all of the community guidelines and standards that all the rest of us have to for our own accounts. And whether you like her or don't like her, it doesn't matter because she is friends with Gypsy. And if she wants to make content defending her friend or talking about whatever she wants to talk about, that is her right. But now there's a lot of speculation going around about they're only coming over to YouTube because they want to copyright strike everybody. If you didn't know, YouTube is a Google-owned company, and Google takes their apps, their platforms, their websites very seriously. But that is also shared on the creator side. A lot of people put a lot of time, work, and effort into making their content and take it very seriously. And underneath copyright, fair use, public domain, people have that right to make their own content. That does include Bree herself as well, whether anybody likes it or doesn't like it.
I'm telling you, this whole situation was laid bare by Breewit.da.fax2's own actions and posts, which effectively provided me with everything I needed to see. It started with that TikTok post showing the picture of the house and that chilling yellow text overlaid. I'm right outside your house, sweetheart. Do you have anything to say? That's not subtle. That's not ambiguous. That is doxing, plain and simple. And it's terrifying, because the legal complications are massive. We're talking cyberstalking, harassment, direct threats, all criminal charges. And civilly, the person living there could absolutely sue for intentional infliction of emotional distress or invasion of privacy. I proved it myself. I did a reverse image search on that house, and it took me literally seconds to find its location. That's how easily a home can be weaponized with just a picture. And the horrifying part is how easy it was to concretize that threat. Even though the original post didn't have explicit location details in the caption, the very first image from Bree's post that you provided showed enough visual information that, as I confirmed, a simple reverse image search allows anyone to instantly pinpoint that precise spot on mapping services. And I can tell you exactly how easy and powerful that process is, because I specifically used Google Gemini to do that reverse image search. Gemini's advanced capabilities, leveraging cutting-edge image analysis and contextual understanding, quickly processed the visual cues in that house image. It wasn't just matching pixels, it was intelligently recognizing landmarks, architectural styles, and correlating them with vast geographical data, leading me directly and rapidly to the precise location. This effortless identification capability turns a seemingly benign image into a terrifyingly effective tool for doxing, immediately linking the virtual threat to a physical location. This is central to why doxing is such a profound violation and a serious legal offense. Then, after I reposted the screenshot of Bree's original content, you have Newport's utterly baffling comment on my post, and I have your comment, Newport. That's Jeanette's house. Bree's friend and panel member. They did that as a joke. It's critical to understand that Newport provided nothing of the original doxing content. Their entire involvement began and ended with this single comment on my repost. This is where the core of their defense lies, trying to reframe a menacing act as harmless banter. But it simply doesn't hold up. If Jeanette is truly Bree's best friend and panel member, why in the world would Bree put such a direct, threatening message on her own friend's house? That defies all logic and fundamentally undermines the joke defense. Legally, the objective impact on the victim, and how any reasonable person would perceive such a direct, intimidating message posted publicly about their home, far outweighs the perpetrator's subjective, unstated intent. A public declaration of knowing someone's location with a challenge is not a joke. It's an act of intimidation. Adding to the damning evidence is the very next comment in that thread, which was found directly on Bree's post that I showed you. From Double Standards 365, visible in the third image, explicitly stating, "Regardless, I don't condone doxing." This confirms that at least one other platform user immediately recognized Bree's post for what it was, doxing. And what was Bree, the creator, doing in response to this direct accusation? A shrug emoji. A mere shrug. To being called out for doxing. That, to me, shows she knew exactly what she was doing was wrong, or at least highly questionable, and she just didn't care, or wasn't going to take responsibility. This casual dismissal, when confronted with a serious violation, is profoundly damning and critically undermines any later attempt to claim the act was unintentional or a misunderstanding. Crucially, this incident exposes a blatant and concerning hypocrisy on Bree's part, made even more egregious by the timeline. As I told you, there was a prior video where Bree herself explicitly condemned doxing, expressing strong concerns about its impact because people have families.
So I was just tagged in a video with doxing information for Ivy Rose News. And I'm not sure why the fuck I was tagged in it. As a matter of fact, I think it's fucking disgusting. I don't know if this is some joke. I don't know if this is some pro-Gypsy person thinking that it's okay because you don't like the stuff that Ivy Rose News says about Gypsy. Well, it's not. It's not. Because guess what? The home she lives in is also the home her fucking children live in. So whoever thought this was okay, you need to take a step back and maybe reflect and reevaluate your life. Because what in the actual fuck? Even if there's nothing else that I respect about that woman, she respected my family. So the fact that someone tagged me in a post doxing her, I'm not with that fucking shit.
Then, a little while later, after that very statement, she turned around and posted the doxing content we're discussing now. To perform an act that is unequivocally doxing, especially one targeting someone she claims is a friend, directly after publicly condemning it, is a stark contradiction. This inconsistency is not just a personal failing. In a legal context, it could strongly suggest that Bree was fully aware of what doxing is, and its potential for harm, making her subsequent action appear even more deliberate, calculated, and less likely to be an innocent mistake or a genuine joke. The fact that the post is now gone from Bree's profile, even though you took the screenshot a month ago, is also highly significant. While it's common for controversial content to be removed, deletion doesn't erase culpability. Your screenshot serves as concrete, verifiable evidence of the original post, its content, and the surrounding comments. From a legal perspective, the removal could even be interpreted as an attempt to conceal evidence, or an implicit acknowledgement that the content was inappropriate or problematic. Another crucial detail is the absence of hashtags on that post, as you pointed out from the first image. This suggests a calculated move. While the post was public and therefore discoverable by anyone who knew her username and went to her profile as you did, the lack of hashtags would significantly limit its broad algorithmic reach and viral spread. It seems Bree might have been trying to manage its visibility, aiming for a more controlled, perhaps subtle public release to her direct audience, while attempting to avoid immediate, widespread scrutiny from the platform's moderation systems or the wider public. However, this attempt at limited visibility doesn't diminish the inherent danger. This is why it's so incredibly serious. Even if she intended it as some kind of joke with Jeanette, the moment that location became public information, it was entirely out of their control. People like me, who can easily do a reverse image search and confirm the location, might not go further. I dislike Gypsy Rose, but I'm not going to cause harm. But there are countless others out there who will go that far. Especially when you factor in Bree's public defense of Gypsy Rose Blanchard. It creates a terrifying scenario where people who are strongly against Gypsy could use Jeanette's exposed home location to cause real-world harm, be it harassment, property damage, or even physical violence. This inherent unpredictability and the potential for severe consequences are precisely why doxing is treated with such gravity. So in conclusion, regardless of any claims of friendship, private jokes, or attempts to downplay the situation by Newport or even Bree herself, the objective reality is clear. Bree's actions meet the definition of doxing. The comprehensive analysis of the images, the explicit threatening text, the comments, Bree's dismissive reaction, her blatant past contradictory statements, and the inherent public accessibility of the content all point to a deliberate act with severe foreseeable consequences. Doxing is doxing, period. And such actions carry undeniable legal accountability, regardless of the perpetrator's subjective intentions or attempts to evade responsibility.
So what do you all really think about this? Do you think that Ken and Gypsy are already married? Do you think that Ken and Gypsy are secretly engaged? Do you think that they are trying to incentivize Lifetime to want to do a third season and possibly do a 2-hour-long wedding special exclusive? Do you think Gypsy is clearly aware of everything that is going on behind the scenes as far as getting married, getting a ring, actually having a wedding? I mean, I've already seen some people believe she's already pregnant with baby number 2. I've even seen that some people believe that the relationship issues that Ken and Gypsy were having were actually faked for the cameras. It's my own opinion that Ken Urker wants to be a celebrity, and that's the only reason why he was drawn back to Gypsy to begin with. But that's always been my intuition and my opinion of Ken Urker. If he truly loved her, he wouldn't have left her for almost 6 years to be with another woman. Okay, I have something fun for you all. Somebody said they wanted a small breakdown of all of the characters and all of the people that are around Gypsy Rose Blanchard or have been in her life, her past, or in the shows and documentaries. Let's start off with Claudinia Dee Dee Blanchard. She is the mother to Gypsy Rose Blanchard, of whom she took the life of, and she is the youngest of 6 children, 3 boys and 3 girls. Dee Dee's mother is Emma Petrie, and she was married to Claude Petrie. This is Gypsy's grandfather, the same one in My Time to Stand and the Prison Confessions of Gypsy Rose Blanchard she made allegations against. These are the 5 siblings still here today, and unfortunately, Dee Dee is not. But what a lot of people don't know is that there was a 4th son named Todd Petrie, and he was born in 1969, and he also passed in 1969 as an infant. Gypsy's mother, Dee Dee Blanchard, had 4 brothers: Todd, Evans, Tate, and Claude Petrie Jr. This is, I believe, Claude Petrie Jr., and he is the father to Gypsy's cousin, Bobby Petrie. Bobby Petrie owns a tattoo shop, and he's been in multiple documentaries in regards to Gypsy Rose Blanchard, and he's even tattooed her on himself. That's a joke. That's a joke. This is just from his portfolio. That's all. Then there is Tate Petrie, who is also Gypsy's uncle, brother to her mother. She has a sister named Dorla Petrie. Here's the last known photograph of Dorla, Claudia, and Dee Dee. There is also Gypsy's other aunt besides Dorla, which is Claudia Petrie. In recent leaked phone calls from jail, Gypsy Rose Blanchard is actually speaking in one of them to her aunt Claudia. Dee Dee also has a brother named Evans Petrie. Evans makes duck decoys, and he's also been on multiple documentaries for Gypsy Rose Blanchard. This is her maternal uncle as well. This conspiratorial character right here is David Blanchard and his wife Kim Blanchard. They were neighbors, friends, and fundraisers to Dee Dee Blanchard and Gypsy when they lived in Springfield, Missouri. Then there is Marcia Smith. She was a friend to Gypsy Rose and her mother Dee Dee Blanchard as well. She has supported Gypsy after her crime, during her incarceration, to the parole board, and even after. She has also been on multiple documentaries speaking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her mother, Dee Dee Blanchard. She and this woman, Laura Nixdorf, was also a friend to Gypsy and Dee Dee. Included in that is this woman who operated a movie theater of which Dee Dee and Gypsy like to go to often. Then there is Ryan Anderson, Gypsy Rose Blanchard's ex-husband. There is also Ryan's mother. Ken Urker is Gypsy's ex-fiance, the man she cheated on her husband with and who she is currently with and has a baby with. That baby is Aurora. This lovely woman is the grandmother to Ken Urker, I would assume is his mother's mother. And this is Raina, Ken's mother. Ken Urker also has a sister and has a brother who was on the TV show. Ken also spoke about how his parents divorced when he was very young, this being Ken's father. This lovely lady is Ken's stepmother. It appears that they do have a daughter together. Ken's father, stepmother, and half-sister have also met the Blanchards, as well as Gypsy prior. This beautiful lady is Aaliyah Wood Mancy. She and her mother were neighbors to Dee Dee and Gypsy when they lived in Springfield, Missouri, leading up to the crime. Aaliyah is somebody that Gypsy not only lied about multiple times to investigators, but she also talked to for many years. If you look at the case files, you will see many messages that are documented between Aaliyah and Gypsy, typically via Facebook Messenger. Then there is Rod Blanchard. Rodney James Blanchard Jr. He's the father of Gypsy Rose. He was 17 when he got 23-year-old Dee Dee Blanchard pregnant. She was 24 when she gave birth to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Rod Blanchard would not only leave Dee Dee before his 18th birthday, he would also cheat on her with Christy Blanchard, his now wife. Christy Blanchard was also a co-worker of Dee Dee Blanchard. Christy Blanchard and Rod Blanchard have been married for over 3 decades, and they also have 2 children together, Dylan and Mia. But what a lot of people don't know is that Rod also had cheated on Dee Dee with somebody else, and that produced a daughter named Nicolette, born about 6 months after Gypsy. And I believe her mother's name was Julie. Correct me if I'm wrong. Then there is Pixie, the dog, and then Parker, who is Ken's dog. One was abandoned and one couldn't be found. There's also Mike Stanfield. He was the public defender to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Before brokering her a sweetheart plea deal, He was preparing to go to trial to try and save her life from capital punishment, and today he is her celebrity manager. Also responsible for the celebrity of Gypsy Rose Blanchard is this woman, Melissa G. Moore. She is the daughter of the happy face killer, Keith Jesperson, and she is also an executive producer and ghostwriter, along with this woman, Michelle, on 2 of Gypsy's books, both the ebook Released and the book My Time to Stand. You may or may not recognize this man. This is Dr. Mark Feldman. He is a self-proclaimed expert on Munchausen syndrome and Munchausen syndrome by proxy. He is an author, and he also partook in many of the interviews and documentaries regarding Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her case. Now, this is Brianna Hines. She is a friend to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She originally became friends with her stepmother, Christy Blanchard, before finally becoming, quote, buddies, unquote, with Gypsy. Now they are self-proclaimed besties. This is Nicholas Godejohn, Gypsy's co-conspirator and co-defendant. Gypsy's accessory to her crime, her tool, her weapon. Nicholas Godejohn has a biological father named Bobby Godejohn and a mother named Stephanie Goldammer. Stephanie Goldammer, rest in peace, passed away in 2020. She was married to Charles Goldammer, who is Nicholas Godejohn's stepfather. Nicholas also has a half-brother named Quinn Goldammer. But when it comes to Gypsy Rose Blanchard herself, you can be a victim of one thing, but you can't be a victim of everything. Be very cautious and aware of the perpetual victim in every circumstance, every situation, every experience, and every, quote, my truth, unquote. The people who display sociopathic and narcissistic tendencies are not only the most dangerous people, they are the people who behave in ways like they are above the law. They are not accountable for their actions, words, choices, and behaviors. They are never responsible. It's always somebody else's fault and doing to them. Especially beware of somebody who says they are a victim, a survivor, and that they have faced immense trauma in their life, and they take little to no consideration to other people's trauma. But really, when we look back at pictures of Gypsy Rose Blanchard, we don't see a trauma victim or a survivor. We see a happy and smiling child. Documentaries and interviews can be painted one way or another, but when we all take a moment to actually look at the photographs and not pay attention to the words that are being presented to us and the context of which they are trying to shape it, we begin to see a fuller, more complete photograph in context. And while Gypsy Rose Blanchard may have been born to a single mother and she might not have had the perfect upbringing and the perfect family, she certainly had the stage set to be very spoiled and entitled. So entitled that she felt she could take somebody's life, lie about it, hide it, and then get away with it. Then slander, defame, libel, and completely darvo that same homicide victim of hers. If those things don't show you exactly who Gypsy Rose Blanchard is today, if her own actions, words, choices, and behaviors since being released on December 28th of 2023 don't show you exactly who and what she is today, then all I can say is God bless you, and I certainly pray for you, because this is exactly what allows sociopaths and narcissists to continue doing what they do. The meek, the fragile, the clout chasers, the weak, the cowards who stand for nothing. But there are also the gullible, the naive. But with everything we have witnessed, especially with content creators and on social media since her release from prison, if that doesn't show you who Gypsy Rose Blanchard truly is to her core, then I truly pray for you, because nothing ever will. This little girl in this photograph is not the Gypsy Rose Blanchard that is 34 and a mother today. Don't let the mainstream media narrative and social media narrative shape your perception. Open your eyes, open your mind, and really look at what is right in front of you, because it is all right in front of you. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is a convicted murderer who took the life of her own mother. She was a girl who knew she could walk, because she did walk. And she played the part of not only a sick child, which she truly was, but malingered the part of a paraplegic with her mother to fool doctors for a Social Security disability check, among other financial incentives and gains. Today, right now, her story of being a victim and a trauma survivor is nothing more than a defense strategy to save her from capital punishment. And some of the sheep actually bought it. Don't be the sheep.
Eating real food, different foods, like, she was eating prison food for the first time. That was her first taste of real food. It's prison food. So,
and if you liked my video, don't forget to subscribe, like, turn on notifications, and share.